burlap drum shade says to me, the house on Zillow that's not selling. Hi, I'm Nick Olsen. I'm an interior decorator in New York City, and today I'm going to share with you all you need to know about picking out a lampshade. When I'm shopping for a ready-made lampshade, I already obviously have the light fixture in mind, not necessarily a lamp, but sometimes a sconce, sometimes a floor lamp, sometimes, any different type of lighting that takes a shade. I'm thinking about the size, proportion, finish, texture, color, all of these things that we consider when it comes to lamps and other lighting. And also the room that it's intended for. You have to think about, is this client into sort of bohemian lampshades? Are they more modernist? Do they not want the lamp or the lighting to be the star? Or is the lighting the star of the room? A Christopher Spitzmiller lamp is often the star of any room. And honestly, this beautiful silk, kind of starry silk shade looks great on it, but this is not everybody's style. But it's really kind of picturing the room, also picturing the quality of light that you want. One of the things you always want to think about is the light that the shade will give off. You have to kind of know in advance your own sensitivity to light or your client's sensitivity to light, because some people want to live basically like they're in an operating room under a Klieg light. And we have conversations all the time about the shades and how much light a shade will really give off in a room where they need the light. So in terms of what type of shade casts the most beautiful light, I would say hands down silk, pattern silk, solid silk, in more of the red, gold, yellow colorways because it's more flattering on the skin. Of course, those tend to be more expensive, so I really like simple ivory paper shades for a beautiful source of light. Since incandescent bulbs are being phased out, I prefer a warm LED, the warmest light possible. Test it in the lamp, test it with the shade. I like the fake filament bulbs with the kind of tinted amber glass. Like, those are warm, those are inviting. When you drive by your house at night, it's a warm, pretty, inviting glow. I hate the ones that read as blue, like, ooh, like you're in the deli at 2 a.m. getting your Snickers bar. Pass on those. But the proportion of the body of the lamp to the shade and the height of the shade is key. There's no one formula, you have to use your eye, but there are sort of tricks of the trade. And pet peeve, I don't want to see the hardware underneath. I really want the edge of this, the bottom edge of this lampshade to cover this metal part. Some people like to see the top of a lamp. I don't want to see the metal hardware. I just want this to cap off the beautiful lamp so nicely. But this is kind of the endless neuroses of lampshades, because you really have to see it in person to do it. And that's what's difficult. If you can't shop, you need to be able to return the shade or exchange it for a different size. We are measuring the diameter at the widest point. So we're looking at like 8 inches at the widest. Then oftentimes stores, auction houses, retail, whatever, will tell you the height total of the lamp. What you kind of really want to know is the height from the base to the neck. So that's 14 inches. Ideally, you want to know the distance from the neck to where the finial sits. So in this situation, it's like, well, I'm going to guesstimate it like 8.5 inches. So it is a math equation. Like you're wanting to know where does the finial sit and how tall overall does my lampshade need to be in order to cover the neck of this. So this beautiful coral colored lamp, at the very widest, it's also about 8 inches, but it is much higher. It's like 17 to the neck. This is actually an 18-inch diameter shade, but that looks more appropriate on a taller lamp. Again, scale, proportion, height. The overall height of the shade, looking at like 11.5 inches. I mean, take 2 steps back. It's a pleasing proportion. Okay, in the world of Goldilocks, like, obviously too little, looks ridiculous. It does look like a person wearing like a beach hat. In the just miss category, honestly, not wide enough, not tall enough. Colors it's a little bit drear, for this lamp, even though there's low color, but we're showing the hardware, which makes me crazy. Yeah, showing too much leg and too much dangly dangerson. But then Goldilocks said just right. I mean, the color, the scale, the texture of the pleats, like the simplicity of the binding here, not really seeing the neck, even though it's a beautiful neck, is a pleasing texture contrast. This is a winner. What are my final tips on lampshades? It's really keep it simple, students, as my 9th grade geometry teacher would say. They don't need to be too many elements or too many materials, not so overwrought, simple shapes, like warm clarity of light and material coming together. Honestly, people tend to go too small on their lampshades in general. You have these giant lamps that you can buy, you know, Chris's are the gold platinum standard, but you know, they do sell huge lamps, even at Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever, and then the shade is like 4 inches too narrow. So go bigger rather than smaller is my advice to everybody in the world. Well, I think that's all you need to know about lampshades, so thanks, Schumacher.